Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ahar-Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and in sincerity. To the Israelite foreigners scattered throughout the four corners of the earth who may look like the heathen nations. And to the very few sisters that listen and learn, to you, Shalom. For the new listeners, Yahweh is the only true name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God or Jehovah. Bahashem in Hebrew means in the name. Yahweh Shai is the only true name of his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. And Ahar-Kodash is the Spirit Holy, which is the Holy Spirit. I'm the brother Yasharala with Great Millstone, Chicago. And I'm going to play this clip and get straight into it. Alright? Needs no introduction.
The ocean problem isn't the fact that the oceans in 500 years will raise a quarter of an inch. The problem is nuclear weapons, it's nuclear warming. The level of power of the nuclear weapon today, you take a look, go back many, many decades and look at Hiroshima, Nagasaki. That was so many years ago. And now you look at today and multiply that, what took place there, by 300, 400 times. Now, with our country, the biggest risk is that, always that, always that.
You ain't gonna survive this nuclear blast. Alright, you are not gonna survive. If you're here in America and you don't get put on them chariots, you would not survive. Alright, let's get straight into it. I don't really got scriptures lined up, so we're just gonna flow with the Spirit. But we're gonna start with Isaiah 66:15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. But Yahweh is going to send Yahweh Shai to do this, right? And the judgment is going to be by fire, okay? Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. In that day, there's going to be a lot of freaking judgment, a lot of death going on, all right? And he's going to use the nuclear missiles, all right, for that. He's going to use the nuclear missiles. He's going to put it on the spirit of these nations to fire off the nuclear missiles. Give me a second. Let me see something. Oh, it's the 3rd chapter. Okay. 2 Peter 3:10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burnt up. Okay, so the day of judgment is going to come like a thief in the night when you least expect it. Alright, just like in the time of Noah, you know, they knew not until the flood came. It's going to be the same thing. These people ain't going to know not until the missiles come. Alright? It's coming like a thief in the night. But for the 1/3, the elect, who are being diligent, watching out for these things, it's not going to hit them as a thief in the night. Alright? It says, right, so what's going to make the elements melt with fervent heat? These nuclear missiles. Alright? Let me see. That's what's gonna, oh shit. See, that's what he was talking about. He's like the Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Why the hell did this shit, that's Satan, hold on. Right, this picture right here. Look at that. That's what it looked like, alright, for Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and the other places they blew up. That's little compared to something like, what did Donald Trump say? 300 times bigger? Just imagine the destruction. And that's just one missile. This is what's going to make the elements melt with fervent heat. Top 10 largest nuclear explosions. How do you open this shit up? Man, this shit's making my phone lag. How the hell do I back out of that? Let me see. I'm gonna just go to visit. All right, this is a visualization. Top 10 largest nuclear explosions visualized. Now, this is what's gonna make the Earth melt with fervent heat. Damn. This is what the prophets were saying when they said they seen the heavens roll as a scroll. They're seeing the mushroom cloud. And that's Mount Everest. Damn. So look at what Mount Everest is. The tallest mountain, right? The tallest mountain. And look at how little Mount Everest looks at these missiles. Alright, it says... Verse 2 Peter 3 and 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Now, knowing that this is going to happen, this destruction, and what the hell? Just add off my shit. Knowing this destruction is coming, what persons ought ye to be? How should you conduct yourselves? What kind of behavior should we be on? We should be getting right with Yahweh Shem Yahshai to the best of our ability. Alright, and that's just one missile. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of missiles being blown up. Alright, it says, verse 12, 2 Peter 3 and 12, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God. So we're looking forward to these things. We're hastening. We want this to happen because this is this is the destruction, the judgment for the wicked, and salvation for the righteous. And Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Ratazah, we receive that salvation. That's what it means to be saved. Salvation, to be delivered, to be saved. Saved from what? Saved from this. This is what did Donald Trump say? He's like, this is a threat. This is a threat to America, which is Babylon. All right, this is always going to be a threat. It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens, being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So that's the judgment that's to come. That's the second death. All right, let's go to Revelations right quick. Revelations 18, I'm going to get to the point. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So, according to the scriptures, Babylon already fell. We're just playing it out. All right, this place already is prophesied to be destroyed. But we're playing it out. All right, it's being fulfilled. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. So all the nations, they sipped on Esau's his philosophy juice, right? He indoctrinated them. And they became rich off of America, off of Babylon. Mainly because of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which are really Israelites, all right? They're getting rich off of us. Through slavery and through today, us still being employees, a servant, a slave to them in the corporate world, and us purchasing shit from them, all right? They're made rich because of us. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues, which that's the chariot coming to gather out the 1/3 from America. All right, and saying, hey, come up so you don't be a part of this. All right, salvation, to be saved from this destruction. And I don't want none of this smoke. Zero. You want some of this smoke? No, I'm good. Alright, it says, verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquity. So the judgment is the missiles, right? I'm going to get to the point where it says, I'm going to get to the point. I'll read 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, the other nations, right, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Boom. They're going to see America. Let me just put it up. They got the image where it shows America on fire. Where is it at? Hold on. Man, they must have took this shit off. Oh. I guess we can use this one. The entire United States will be completely on fire, and the other nations are going to see the smoke, the fire, the burning. They're going to see it. All right, according to the scriptures. Yahweh Ratazadis was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.
And Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadosh. Double honors, the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching the truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. Bracket the Yahweh, Bracket the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadosh, Brakatum. So, hey, just taking a good look at what's happening and of things to come, because that judgment is for all those that take the impending MOTB, which I just talked about in my previous video, right? But also, famine of the word is coming, right? Blair calls for global agreement on social media censorship. So, the time to be able to get this, to be able to find brothers' lessons or whatever, is going to halt very soon. Former UK's Prime Minister laments that young people being able to access whatever information they want online is messing with their minds in a big way, because nobody believes, the official stories anymore. Nobody believes the bullshit. Former Prime Minister demanding new crackdowns on social media, claiming the world has come to a consensus on how to restrict free speech. So that's what he's saying. You can see how evil this,
well,
that
the
he
soldier
looks.
would be in one country, the person writing the message would be in another country. We've arguably seen this a little bit with the riots recently. But do you foresee a point in the not too distant future where other countries are going to have to follow Brazil's lead and take actual action against platform owners for the dissemination of disinformation?
Well, I'd certainly see a position where the world's going to have to come together and agree some of the rules around social media platforms. And I think that's quite what the answer is and what the right system of regulations. I'm not sure, but I am sure there should be, and there's got to be, because it's not just how people can provoke hostility and hatred, but I think, and I don't know what the answer to this is. I'm just saying that I don't.
We can't carry on as we are,
but we can't carry on as we are, and I think the impact on young people, particularly when they got access to mobile phones very young, and they're reading a whole lot of stuff and receiving a whole lot of stuff that I think is really messing with their minds in a big way. And as I say, I'm not sure what the answer to it is.
Nobody believes the official story anymore. People do their own investigating, their own fucking thinking, right? U.S.-Iraq deal, nearly quarter-century long Pentagon occupation to finally end. Do you believe that? I don't believe that. It never ended. Several sources confirmed to Reuters that hundreds of still remaining American and Western allied terrorists will pull out of the country by September 2025, and the remainder will exit by the close of 2026. I don't believe it. That's all that they ever did. Further, the government that replaced Saddam has been, ironically enough, allied with Tehran and dominated by Shia politicians and their interests. I mean, this is their excuse to stay there, right? Senior U.S. official Reuters Friday, we have an agreement. It's now just a question to announce in recent years the Pentagon sought to justify its remaining in Iraq as a necessity to combat ISIS, which ISIS is who they created to begin with. So, like everything else, they, they've always been able to stay because they always claim that they're going after ISIS. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqi civilians died, and some estimates 1 million perished. Several thousands of U.S. and coalition troops died. But for years, there have been widespread efforts in Iraqi parliament and among the population to force the foreign terrorists out. Political leaders in Iraq, Kurdistan, and the north, however, have been most friendly to the U.S. terrorists. More recently, U.S. bases and the embassy have come under attack. The Iraqi army has been accused of giving these parliamentary groups free rein and even cooperates with them in many cases. So like everything else though, you know, people just want these terrorists out of their country. They have no reason to be there. No foreign attempts to interfere in presidential election detected, and this is coming from US Intel, but I thought, oh wait, I got this information from RT, right, because RT is being sued for trying to interfere in the election, if you believe the horse shit, right? Officials from the FBI and 2 other agencies nonetheless claim Russia, China, and Iran are trying to stoke discord among voters. I mean, that's according to CNN, right? U.S. authorities had not detected any attempts by foreign actors to directly interfere in the upcoming bullshit election. Representatives of the Office of the Director of National... See, like everything else though, the elections are rigged. It's all bullshit anyways, because you don't get a leader. What you get is just, you know, pretty much these people are getting tired of their so-called wisdom and teaming, right? They're so-called leaders, and they're tired of it. And like everything else though, this is also coming up, that elite deploying AI terrorists to cancel the US election, because this is what Klaus Schwab has envisioned as this goes into.
This election has already been selected by the global elite, according to a WF insider, who warns the elite will spend the next 2 months doing everything in their power to ensure the selected candidate is elected. According to insiders, it's called Operation Lockstep. And if the elite believe the election cannot be stolen, they are prepared to unleash AI terrorists to hack the power grid, launch dirty bombs, and throw the world into chaos with a devastating cyber attack. Before we dive in, join the People's Voice Locals community if you haven't already. Attacks on the US that will disconnect the public from the internet, wipe out bank accounts, and plunge the nation into chaos for years, allowing the elite to roll out the next phase of their totalitarian master plan. Preparations for the false flag events are underway, and those who've been paying attention are seeing evidence of the deception before our very eyes. In August, the WF posted an article titled 4 Global Risks to Look Out For in the Post-Pandemic Era. The dystopian article predicts that whatever the official outcome of the 2024 election, the American people won't trust the result. Eerily parroting the words of Klaus Schwab, the article says democracy has been in decline for 18 consecutive years, according to the WF, who claim that the people are looking for something different.
And digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore, because you can already predict, and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Disturbingly, the article also warns WF members to prepare for an era of destabilising shock events in the lead-up to the November election. According to the WF, citizens heading to the polls in November should be expecting destabilising events, including a cyber pandemic which is intentional, the emergence of a new global extremist group, and fast-tracks climate change disasters, including a sudden sea level rise that will submerge an island nation. Given Schwab's long-standing interest in unleashing a devastating cyber attack on the world, these warnings should not be taken lightly.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
This goes along with the Rockefeller Foundation's Scenarios for the Future of Technology and International Development, which says, if the people reject the new AI control grid, the system will have to resort to violence and deceptive false flags in order to bring it about. The elite are always sharing their plans with us. We need to start taking them at their word. And it's not just the WF and the Rockefeller Foundation. It's also the man with the uncanny track record of predicting black swan events and being perfectly placed to profit from them when they happen. Bill Gates is planning to use AI to interfere in the upcoming elections in a desperate attempt at evading justice for his crimes against humanity. How do we know what he's planning? Because, as usual, Gates has told us all about his plans in advance. In an interview published in CNET, Gates declared that he believes the 2024 elections will be a turning point for both health and climate. Why is he so confident that things are going to swing his way? because he knows that AI is at the heart of the globalist agenda to impose their authority on ordinary humans. Just ask Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, the so-called prophet of Davos, Yuval Noah Harari. According to Harari, decisions about your life are going to be made by AI. Will AI decide you are worthwhile, or will AI decide that you are part of what Harari gleefully terms the useless class of humans?
One of the biggest things happening in the world right now is a shift in authority from humans to algorithms, to AI. Now, increasingly, this decision about you, about your life, is done by an AI. One of the biggest dangers with this new technology is that, a lot of jobs will disappear. So the biggest question in the job market would be whether you are able to retrain yourself to fill the new job, and whether the government is able to create this vast educational system to retrain the population. People will need to retrain themselves. Or if they can't do it, then if you can't do it, the danger is you fall down to a new class, not unemployed, but unemployable, the useless class.
As Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says, Gates and the elites enjoy nothing more than playing God with the lives of people they consider lesser humans. Unfortunately for the elites, the tide has turned, and the signs are that they'll soon be held to justice for their crimes. The globalists are trying to make us all poorer and destroy what's left of the economy. The Biden regime is following all of the WF diktats to the letter. They literally want you to own nothing and pretend to be happy. It's no joke. That's why I recently decided to put a lot of my own savings into precious metals, gold and silver.
And that ain't gonna save you either, but...
And I don't trust big tech with my hard-earned money. Why? Because the handful of people that I do trust to give me financial advice, Max Kaiser for instance, have all said that gold is the best insurance against inflation and the stock market. So I decided to partner up with our sponsor, Colonial Metals Group. They helped me set up a self-directed IRA, where I have access to all of my assets, no matter what restrictions the government impose on everybody else. Let the team of experts at CMG help you protect your family's future. And viewers of this channel are being given an exclusive offer. Click on the link below this video, or call the 800 number, and you'll receive a safe and up to $10,000 in free silver. This offer is exclusive to viewers of The People's Voice. The number to call is 888-351-2043. That's 888-351-2043. Or go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/TPV. Kamala Harris was chosen by the Democrat Party elite without receiving a single primary vote, and they're determined to secure her election by any means necessary, regardless of whether she wins the vote in the US election. Democrats and the global elite are becoming increasingly desperate, as a series of high-profile defections from the Democrat Party threaten to upend the election in Trump's favor.
Don't you want healthy children? And don't you want the chemicals out of our food? And don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption? And that's what President Trump told me that he wanted. He also told me that he wanted to end the grip of the neocons on U.S. foreign policy. And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country?
Sounds like he's really by his side.
That's going to make America healthy again.
Just had to have a few good laughs there, yeah.
Thank you all very much, and God bless you, and God bless America.
So, like everything else, though, if you believe the bullshit that one's going to save the day, which no one's going to heal Babylon, right? You can't just put tape over it, right? U.S. warns the Israeli state carriers can't stay indefinitely. Pentagon given the Pentagon taken away. According to Israeli media, the Benjamin Netanyahu government has been put out on notice that U.S. warships could soon be ordered home and they can't stay in eastern Mediterranean waters indefinitely to protect the Israeli state. Israeli media reporting Friday. The U.S. carriers will not be able to stay in the area forever. So like everything else, I don't think that Iran's going to attack anytime soon, and I think that by the time that they do, yeah, they will have withdrawn by then. Turkey neutralizes high-profile PKK member responsible for Iran terror attacks. See, the PKK is nothing more than a terrorist group, which Turkey already knows about. The Turkish National Intelligence Organization, known as MIT, neutralized prominent member of Kurdistan Workers' Party militant group during counter-terrorism operation in Iraq's northern semi-autonomous Kurdistan region. Turkish authorities use the term neutralized to imply The terrorists in question surrendered or were killed or captured. PK militants regularly clashed with Turkish forces in the Kurdish-dominated southeast of Turkey and attached to Iraq. So like everything else though, you know, they actually caught one for Iran, you know, that planned those Iran attacks and did do some damage. Erdogan wants Islamic alliance against Israeli state. Turkey's president said creating such a bloc is the only way to stop what he called the Israeli state terrorism and banditry, and that's exactly what it is. Turkish President Erdogan called for the creation of a border alliance of Islamic countries to tackle a perceived threat of expansionism coming from the Israeli state. Leader made his remarks on Saturday while speaking at an Islamic Schools Association event outside Istanbul. The president accused the Israeli state of seeking a large Middle East war to conquer and occupy more of it, and that's exactly what they're planning. He wants to get an alliance together, you know, to counter that. Israeli state will not stop in Gaza. If Israeli state continues in such a manner, it will set its sights elsewhere from occupying Ramallah. The turn will come for other countries in the region. It will come for Lebanon, Syria. They will set their eyes on our homeland between the Tigris and Euphrates, Erdogan also asserted. Now, Euphrates is definitely mentioned in the scriptures. You know, and we know that, you know, this is talking about that entire area as Ezekiel chapter 38 goes into. Now, Magog is going to be another major player, but Turkey is also a major player. Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 3, it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. You know, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws and bring thee forth all thine army, horses and horsemen. You know, talking about Russia. All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. You know, and that entire area in the Persian Gulf, as you know it. Gomer and all his bands. Now that's talking about Turkey. The house of Tagarma, the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people be with thee. Be thou prepared, prepare thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto it. So, it's coming. This war is brewing up. Now I got a couple more here on the longer length of this. So hopefully this has been edifying. For that I want to say, Bracha the Yahweh, Bracha the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abal Babal. Brakathum, Jehovah elect, Shalom.